You know what, that's a really nuanced question, and I have a few things that I'm going to talk about that lead to the answer. And I promise that I don't have the perfect answer, but I feel like we need to acknowledge that people have different lifestyles as well. So, you know, I'm born in New Zealand, and a big part of my upbringing is outdoor activity, right? Now, I've also lived in Asia, so I know that with the heat and the tropics and stuff, it's not as possible to do that all the time. It's just, you know, too hot. And I know that that's probably the case in some parts of India as well. So I sort of understand that there's differences in culture around activity levels as you grow up. But also for girls and women in New Zealand, it's really normal to be really active, you know, like right now where I live, we've got the biggest kids Olympics happening right now. 25,000 kids have come to my city to participate in sports, and half of them are girls. So it's actually a really big thing for me growing up that sport would be normal. So I just need to lay the foundations and say, look, I'm a freak. I've always been into physical activity, so it's not that hard for me to want to work out. Now, when we talk about when should we start working out, I believe that the best time to have a formal level of fitness is in your 20s. You know, I'm just going to say it. If you can start working out in your 20s, so if any of you ladies have women in your house, young women, really try to encourage them to start doing some physical activity in their 20s. And what we now know about lean muscle is that, you know, weightlifting is actually something that we should start, you know, in our 20s at least. I don't recommend much sooner than that because your body is still growing and changing, your joints and bones are still adjusting. So putting too much heavy lifting on the body sort of, you know, in your mid-teens is not recommended, but sort of late teens and 20s, that's actually a really good time to start lifting. Now I can say that my daughter goes to the gym 3 times a week and does heavy weight training now. But I want to tell you, when we used to make her work in our gyms in Malaysia, and we gave her like a summer job so she could work in our gyms, she would look at people working out and she'd be like, this is like 14 years old, and say, I don't understand why people do this. This looks like it absolutely sucks. So I want to premise that by saying, you know, like I've had a child who has said, I don't understand why people want to work out, okay? Now she's in her 20s, early 20s, and she's like, this is the thing that's keeping me strong and mentally sane. Like she's using the gym and the workouts in her 20s to feel that it's improving her mental health, not just her physical health. And I do think from different generations, I think young women really care about their mental health. And we talk about it a lot more than we did back in our day, right? Like back in our 20s, we're like, just get on with it, you know, just stop talking about it, get on with it, deal with it. But I think our younger women now actually do want to talk about the things that they struggle with and do look to the gym or sometime a sport to deal with their mental health as well as their physical health. So I think obviously the 20s is a good time to start. Now, most of us are over the age of 40. I want to say this, it's not too late. It's not too late to start. Actually, if you're 60 or 70, it's not too late to start, okay? I think the intention has to be there, and the intention has to be more than the physical change. Because I think this is where a lot of us get caught up in, it's not working for me. I work out, I'm not losing weight, it's not working. Now, we know that as we go through menopause, our body is going through quite a tumultuous time. Our hormones are challenged. Our body is saying, okay, I'm going to wind down now. I'm not going to have babies anymore. And so the ovaries are dialing back and checking out, okay? So we start to lose our hormones, estrogen and progesterone, but that also affects our whole body. And it definitely affects our lean muscle mass. Now, we know that lean muscle is necessary for long-term health. And please don't take that from me being a fitness buff. You know, I'm going to tell you that. There is the science and the research that says people that have more lean muscle, that work out 2 or 3 times a week with weights, will have a healthier, longer life, will have better cognitive function and better cardiovascular health. That kind of has to be the reason why we actually want to start doing some strength training, because the fact of the matter is we may get some body composition shifts by getting more belly fat. That's kind of a thing that happens for a lot of us. It happened for me too 5 years ago. I know that the videos don't look like that now, but 5 years ago, I would never wear a crop top. Between the age of 45 and 50, I was really self-conscious about how my body had changed, and I've always been a fit person. But I was self-conscious, and I would wear, just a t-shirt over the top, knotted up a little bit tight so it looks nice. But I had a body composition change because of perimenopause, and that was the thing that started me thinking, all this exercise that I'm doing, it's not working. I must be doing something wrong. And as it turns out, I was doing way too much cardio and I was doing no strength training. So that's the thing that's changed. And I think that just goes to show that strength training can change your body at any age, because I'm 55 now and I look better than I did at 45. Okay, but listen, it's taken me 4 to 5 years. But I also want to say 4 to 5 years, it's actually gone really fast in hindsight. But when I started, it was like, why is this taking so long? Other really good things that happened as I started to be more consistent to good strength training was I started to feel no pain in my joints. That the joint pain went away, because what's happening is the muscles are getting stronger around the joints and the bones are getting stronger too. So I noticed that my joint pain started to go down, and it meant that I could go heavier on my weights. And that also meant that I was building more lean muscle tissue. And I'll also put my hand up and say I found it very, very difficult to get bigger. Even though I'm doing quite heavy weights now, I have good muscle tone, but I'm finding it really hard to get bigger muscle. And I think that just goes to show that it is actually really hard for women to get bulky. And we don't really like that word, but I'm actually trying to get bigger. Okay? And it's because it makes me feel more confident. It makes me feel more in control of my health. So I hope that that's some motivation for you, that you can start exercise and resistance training at any age. You just have to go into it with a mindset of it has to be more than the physical change. It has to be like, I want to be around for as long as possible, to be there for my family, to have this long and wonderful life. I don't want to curl up in a corner and not be able to get out of my chair. I don't want my children to be wiping my butt at 80. Okay? Because that's what happens as we age when we do not work out. Okay, and I just hope that that's motivating for everyone here. We are going to be this new age of women that do not need anyone to take care of us in our old age. We don't need it. We love having people around us, but we don't need people to help us get out of a seat. And we don't need people to cook for us, because we got this. We've got, we can remember everything. And I think that's what exercise gives you, and especially when you start putting your mind to it from the age of about 40 and you just go, I'm really going to do this is going to be a part of my life, then it's really, really life changing.